I can't believe I have to make this video in 2024. I mean, it's absolutely insane that this is even a thing that we have to go through when Nintendo does something that we've been asking for so long. So, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door comes out in literally 20 days. Can you believe that sentence? Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door is coming to Switch, and a full-fledged remake at that in 20 days in 2024. It's insane. And the fact that we're even in this era alone is a blessing from Nintendo. This is a moment where us fans of the series needs to sit and realize how much of a blessing that this is. This means so much for the future of the series. This means so much to us fans after sitting and complaining about the last 3 Paper Mario games, and finally, Nintendo does the right thing by not only taking us back to what made Paper Mario good, but literally taking us back to the same exact game that made it so perfect in the first place. Yes, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, the fan favorite for almost everybody, is coming back to the Switch, and people are still complaining. People are still upset by things. I guess just in people's mind, it just went from this was just the craziest thing ever to, okay, how much can we stretch out of Nintendo with this thing? Which is just a weird mindset to have. You know, the fact that I know we're not supposed to be complacent and just take whatever Nintendo gives us. Like, for sure, I could see if this was just like a very lazy remake or remaster and just it didn't look right and things were just lazily slapped together just to get this thing out. And then, like, yeah, obviously we have the right to complain and be like, okay, Nintendo, you're not, you know, you're charging $60, maybe even $70 eventually for a game like that. Yeah, there's a problem. But the fact that Nintendo seems to be going completely out of their way, completely like digging deep to make this the most amazing remake so far on Switch. I mean, seriously, they have redone everything in this game. The textures, the lighting, the character designs. I mean, everything just looks so much better. It has been remade from the ground up. There's small quality of life changes that they've added that we've seen. For instance, there's, you know, the backtracking is going to be fixed with a new pipe room, and we have quick switch with characters and better UI, and just things look to be a lot better. There's even additions added to this game, including like a battle training arena with a Battletoad and just other little small quality of life things. There's even a badge to help change the music back to the original version if you don't want the new version. There's so many little things added to make this the ultimate version. And Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door was not a perfect game already. It was a very, very, very good game, but it did have a couple of small problems. And the fact that Nintendo has a chance to actually fix these problems and make this game an actual perfect game the way it was intended to be is incredible. And the fact that Nintendo's even adding all this stuff is incredible, but people are still complaining. I'm sorry, I yapped for a while there, but what are people complaining about? Well, I just see people complaining about almost every little aspect that's not like up to their standards. One thing I keep seeing is that a lot of people aren't a fan of the over-the-top stuff Nintendo is doing with this, which is weird. I guess they want more of a one-to-one recreation, but some people are upset that Nintendo seems to be kind of going above and beyond with some things. I saw people comparing Rogueport and saying that Rogueport looks too shiny. I mean, like, people are actually like actively complaining that Rogueport looks too shiny. I don't understand. I mean, that's just the texture of the ground, where the ground in every location looks the same. If you go throughout the trailer, it's supposed to have that clean-cut cardboard reflection type of thing, that plasticky, you know, look to it, that papery plastic covering. And I don't know why people are acting like, you know, this means that Rogueport has squeaky clean floors. No, I mean, that's the point of the floor. The floor looking like that is because it's made of paper. You can't really make the paper dirty. I mean, I guess you could put some like marks and stuff, but there are marks on the ground. There are scratches and scuff marks and paper and debris and trash laying everywhere. It just has a shiny sheen, and I see people literally online complaining that things are too shiny. That's the point. You know, in the original, it didn't really give off a huge paper feel, where now it does. It feels more papery than ever, which I actually love, because at the end of the day, this isn't just an RPG. This is a Paper Mario RPG. Everything should feel like arts and crafts and paper, And to me, that's what it feels like. It feels like wrapping paper. It's just so clean looking because it's like shiny, reflecting wrapping paper on the floor that the sun is reflecting off of. It's just like, why are people complaining? The locations look 10 to 20 times better than they did in the original version. So I just wanted to get that out the way. That was a weird thing that people were complaining about. There's something else that I've been hearing complaints about, and this one is like truly blowing my mind. And it's the music. The music. Well, let me tell you why it's blowing my mind. For one, let's say if it's horrible, let's say they made horrible remixes, there is a literal badge in the game that you can get probably early game that is 1 coin to have the original sound effects turned on. Why are we complaining about music? The fact that Nintendo remade all the music and even added new tracks for like specific partner characters in certain scenes, it's crazy. It's like they truly just redid everything, even the music. I mean, it's just little things that we should be appreciating and celebrating. And I see fans online and on Twitter just like complaining that, the music is too much. I'm like, what? The music is too many instruments. It has too much of Origami King. Let me tell you right now, you might hate Sticker Star, Color Splash, or maybe even Origami King, but you cannot deny that the music in all 3 of those games is really, really good. In fact, it's some of the best music in the entire series. So the fact that they're taking from that and kind of, intertwining it into the music of the Thousand Year Door, it's just perfect in my opinion. It's something that I don't even think many people cared to have. We would probably have been fine with the original soundtrack, but just to have this remix, it's so good. And the remix is like, it's not bad at all. It's really, really good. And it actually adds, new parts to the song that we've never heard before, which just makes me smile ear to ear. And once again, if I don't like it, I can turn it off. That's the part that's just getting me so much, is just, if you don't like it, throw the badge on. It's free. There's no badge power required for it. You could throw it on. It's 1 coin. Anyone can get it. It's just like, it's that simple. But I'm going to compare some of these songs with you because I need you to hear. I don't understand how people can say that this is just such a huge downgrade. Yeah, it may not feel like the original. I've seen some people say the Rogueport theme doesn't feel as, rugged and as like nitty gritty as it used to. And I'm like, it doesn't necessarily need that. It's just a bombastic, really good remix. And here, listen to them. Pedal Metals was really, really good. It's one of my favorite themes, I think, in Mario video games. And it always still felt a little like isolated. For instance, I wish there were like a little bit more instruments, and that's exactly what this remake does. And I'm like, this is one of the greatest themes I've ever heard. I mean, just listen to how much they add. They add a whole like ending to the song, plus the loop even adds some new parts to it. Just listen. And yeah, it just like, you cannot listen to that and not get goosebumps. I mean, it stays true to the original, and it still gives me that nostalgic feel, but even more, in my opinion. There's just something about the remixes, I think, that does so much more. It takes from Origami King with the bombastic trumpets and horns and stuff and just adds to it, and I think it's it's a perfect addition. I truly cannot wait to hear the other remixes, but God forbid you don't like it, you can turn it off. How are people complaining about this? And the last thing I see people complaining about the most is the frame rate. People are complaining that this game is 30 frames per second. Now, the original Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, does run at a smooth 60 frames. And people just want that frame rate back, and I can see that, but people seriously over here saying that I'm not going to buy the game now, this is the same people complaining that Nintendo had not been making good Paper Mario games, and they finally do, and what do they say? Oh, it's 30 frames per second, I'm not buying it. It's just like we are acting like brats. I'm sorry, we are acting like babies when this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been begging for. And Nintendo went above and beyond so far from what we can see. I mean, they have like art gallery now showing us concept art and stuff. I mean, there's a music jukebox player and all these extras and stuff. We don't even know. There could be even more stuff at the end if you 100% the game. There's so many little quality of life improvements. Nintendo really outdid themselves. And we're complaining about frame rate. It is a turn-based RPG. A very slow-paced, very easy to hit with the action commands RPG. 30 frames per second is not going to kill you. It's not at all. In some games, maybe, not in Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. By the way, all the other Paper Mario games run at 30 frames per second. So what are we arguing about? I also want to bring this up. I don't have it up right now. I remember who it was, but there was somebody that worked on Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, and they were talking about how that game also ran at like 30 frames per second because of all the intricacies with the background and the details and the lighting and the forest areas, and we just don't know what goes into some of these graphics. If you guys want 60 frames per second and a game to look as clean as this game, then you're just gonna have to keep demanding for this Switch too, because there's nothing else that the current Switch can do. You're gonna have to pick one or the other, and I'd rather have it capped at 30 frames per second than dipping and switching back and forth between 30 and 50. So yeah, 30 frames per second, and it looks gorgeous. Who cares? You know, maybe on the next Switch, we'll be able to play the same exact game, pop it into the new console, and it will run at a smooth 60. But the fact that we're complaining at all, I mean, I can see if there's some obvious things, like if Nintendo took out characters or bosses or just messed up the remake and, you know, just made it look stupid. They've done nothing but add positive things. Brand new animations for Mario and his partners, and just brand new quality of life features, new UI and stuff like that. It's just little things to make an already amazing game even more amazinger, if that's a word. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just kind of annoying as a huge Paper Mario fan, because this is something that I thought everybody would collectively just be so happy about. But look, please, let's just stop complaining. There should be nothing to complain about. This game looks beautiful. It is a dream come true that this is happening. Let's enjoy this, and let's let Nintendo know that this is what we want with the future of the series. So that way, people can stop complaining, because then we get a Paper Mario game like Sticker Star Color Splash Origami King, and then where are we back at? Complaining again, because it's not what we want. Show Nintendo this is what we want. Go out, pre-order the game, buy the game, let's get excited. 20 days left. 20 days until Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. I can't wait. Let me know in the comments down below how excited you are for this game. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.